The World Court. Now, most of you may be asking yourselves, what is the World Court? The World Court is an international tribunal established by the United Nations post-World War II in order to establish global peace and tranquility. Hi, my name is Jenna Ashbrook. I wrote my research paper about the World Court, or the International Court of Justice. Throughout my paper, I highlighted some weaknesses and strengths of the World Court. Let's look at some strengths. Strengths of the World Court include that both parties involved in the case in the World Court must submit to its ruling, since both are agreeing to follow the precedent. They must see it through. Now, what this essentially means is both parties must accept that the World Court has jurisdiction over their case before the case can really even preside. After the case presides and the 15 justices, come up with a precedent, they must follow it since they accepted the jurisdiction. Another strength of the World Court is that the ruling of the case can create an international law. Compare that to what we do in America with our U.S. Supreme Court. In the U.S. Supreme Court, we determine whether something is constitutional or non-constitutional and then make amendments to our Constitution. Think of it as like the same thing, except implementing international laws due to the precedent. Now let's take a look at some weaknesses of the World Court. Weaknesses of the World Court include the legitimacy of the court relies on the countries and states to accept its jurisdiction. If a country or state decides not to accept jurisdiction, one thing they may do is not send any members to be a part of the court or hear anything that goes on in the court. This gives them a disadvantage because they no longer have representation. However, it also does not support the World Court because that country is basically saying that they do not see the World Court as being legitimate, and it takes away all credit. Another problem is the lack of enforcement due to no mechanism of compliance. They don't have law enforcement like we do or some other countries do that can enforce the laws and watch and make sure the countries are always doing what the precedent may say. Overall, the World Court is crucial to the relationships and upkeep of international relations globally. The court has, over time, involved cases that involve genocide and nuclear weapons. Without the World Court, the United Nations would have no way to peacefully settle disputes that happen in the world. There would be no order and possibly war. Overall, the World Court gives the best precedent, not just for the cases involved, but for the world globally.